Hey, this is Dizzy Reed from Guns N' Roses, and you're watching GNR Central. Yeah!
Hey everybody, what's going on, and welcome to GNR Central. And before we get started with this week's news, I don't know if you guys saw my video yesterday, but Guns N' Roses played Abu Dhabi as part of the Not in This Lifetime tour, and Axl was very sick. In fact, he was thrown up for 5 hours before the show. He was hooked up to an IV, and even during the show, he talked about how he was sick. Now, they only played 17 songs, but what's funny is I went back and looked at some of the other tours that Guns N' Roses have done. So when they did the Skin and Bones tour, that was a pretty short show. Like, they were playing, hour and a half long shows. The show in Abu Dhabi clocked in about 2 hours in length. They played about 17 or 18 songs. November Rain was the last song, and they caught a lot of flack for it, but I got to give Axl credit. Like, he was pushing through a 2-hour set, and most bands these days don't even play 2-hour sets. I mean, I remember seeing Alice in Chains live, and they played an hour and a half set. But let's get started with this week's news. And while Guns N' Roses were in Abu Dhabi, Axl found some time to speak with the UAE newspaper, and he talked about a variety of different things. So while Guns N' Roses was there was a Formula One race going on at the same time. And coincidentally enough, Guns N' Roses were in Brazil when there was a Grand Prix going on in 2016. I remember seeing photos of Slash with Team Brazil going and attending it. So he said that he talked a bit about that. He also talked a bit about how he's become friends with some of the Formula One race car drivers. He said that he talked a bit about playing the UAE region before, and basically insinuated that they're going to be touring again in the future. He didn't say outright, but he said, there's still plenty of other places left to play. He also talked a bit about who he thinks the greatest frontman is and the greatest band. And he said, for me, it's easy. Queen is the greatest band, and Freddie Mercury is the greatest frontman of all time. The band are the greatest because they embrace so many different styles. He also talked about, out of all the cities they've played, which is his favorite. He said New York has always been special for me. He said when we were in LA, we were playing the Hollywood club scene, but New York is where we wanted to be. We've done so many different performances there over the years. The city holds a lot of memories. He also talked a bit about Vegas, and he shared some insights into what he did during some of the wilderness years. So he was asked, talk to us about Vegas. You've had some epic shows there. He said, Vegas is a cool place. In the years when people thought I wasn't doing much, I spent a lot of time in Vegas, not partying or gambling, just walking around at night, people watching. We've played a lot there, and we've had a residency there. I'm sure we'll be back. So that's basically insinuating, hey, Guns is going to be playing Vegas again in the future. When? Who knows, but at least it's still on Axl's radar. He was also asked about, he did that Chinese exchange interview back in 2016, and he talked a bit about how he wanted to get involved with musical scores, like for movies and stuff. And he was asked, you've mentioned before that you would like to write music for film. Is that something that still interests you? And Axl said, listening to movie soundtracks is a big thing for me. When you listen to stuff like Pirates of the Caribbean and you get that blend of orchestra and modern instrumentation, it's very clever. I have a lot of respect for the guys that do that. It's something I would like to do at some point in the future. So if you guys want to read the full interview, I've linked to it down below. Let's go into our next news story for the week. There was a new interview that Gilby Clarke gave where he discussed the hardest Guns N' Roses song to play live. So he gave an interview to Ultimate Guitar, and Gilby said the following. He basically was asked, were there songs difficult to learn? And Gilby said, the playing part, no, but what was tricky and challenging was if you listen to Guns N' Roses music, what's unique about it is every time the solo section comes, the rhythm part and the music underneath it is a completely different part of the song. In most songs, people solo over a chorus or a verse, but not in Guns. Man, it's kind of like that Aerosmith thing where it was a complete new part, and there were many times in my head, and you got to understand, I learned 50 songs in a week. There were a couple of jumbles in my computer in my head. Is this the rhythm part that one goes to that song? The interviewer added, it probably took some study, and Gilby talked again. He said, my goal was to get on stage and not have any cheat sheets. The only cheat sheet I had was Izzy's actual cheat sheet for the song Coma, this 15-minute song where there are all these different changes. He said Izzy had a cheat sheet, and I go, hey, can I borrow that? I had to use his cheat sheet for Coma, which I probably only played once or twice in 2.5 years. He also revealed the story of his first audition for Guns N' Roses. He said, I go down and play with him a couple times right before, but it just kind of worked out. Slash first called me literally at midnight and said, hey, can you come down tomorrow and jam with us? The Illusions records weren't out yet. They'd already done a couple live gigs, but the records weren't out yet. So he goes, why don't you just learn 3 songs? You just pick 3 songs. So then a phone call came at midnight, and 1 o'clock the next day I was playing with them. I really didn't get a chance to sit down and learn them. I basically listened to a cassette in my car on the way, and one of the songs I remember was Knocking on Heaven's Door. So if you guys want to listen to the entire interview or read the entire interview, I've linked to it down below. Going back a few weeks now, if you guys remember the whole controversy with Donald Trump using Guns N' Roses music at some of the midterm rallies that Trump was attending, Axl, of course, went to Twitter and said, just so you know, GNR, like a lot of artists opposed to the unauthorized use of their music at political events, has formally requested our music not to be used at Trump rallies or Trump-associated events. One thing that I missed is that Duff McKagan also pointed out, of course, so he's supporting Axl's position on Donald Trump using Guns N' Roses music at their rallies. We have some follow-up to another story that happened about a week ago. If you guys remember, I posted that video about Slash going to that movie premiere for Overlord, or so I guess it was a movie screening, and apparently his bodyguard acted like a complete ass, according to a fan. And basically, there was a movie screening. People were invited. A lot of people had posters signed by Slash on their chairs. But then I guess one guy started to steal all those movie posters for himself. And then the bodyguard basically made sure that nobody got a signed movie poster. And Slash, who was supposed to do like a meet and greet, didn't end up doing that. And fans said he was in a bad mood. So a lot of people were pissed off at his bodyguard chemo. So I got emailed by a fan who basically discussed his version of events. And he sent me the email. He said, I just read one of your news articles about the event. I was there, and the article is very misleading given the one fan's perspective. First of all, there was a signed poster and a smaller unsigned poster in every seat in the entire theater before anyone was let into the screening. This was a big movie theater. It was not even half full when the movie started. Someone stole a ton of signed posters and left the unsigned posters in their place. I think this fan's perspective made them look suspect. It wasn't first come, first serve. It was take a poster wherever you sit and leave one for your neighbor. And basically he said clearly meant to be given by where you sit. Just because there is no assigned seating doesn't mean you can take a poster from every seat you sit at. I'd recommend checking this guy's eBay account. Ha. He said, although it doesn't warrant the reaction from Slash's bodyguard and Slash should have called out whoever it was or at least made a comment on it, I saw the event as very fun and entertaining. It was embarrassing behavior of the crowd to take advantage. I think they're going to put the meet and greet that Slash should have owned it and mention why and addressed it. Kind of weak that he didn't. We didn't even know about that there was a meet and greet until his grumpy bodyguard yelled it at the crowd. I would have been pissed too. Some deplorable guy stole all the posters. He said some piece of expletive stole a bunch of signed posters that were meant for everyone to get one. There would have been plenty for everyone and a lot left over. Someone's group got them all. When I arrived, there was only about 6 left, and people that still had them were in the front row at this time. No one else had them. Whoever did the dirty deeds took off. I took it as Slash's bodyguard was disgusted at the situation and no one handled it well, but the crowd, minus the scum that stole everyone else's signed posters. Luckily, I already met Slash many times and have other signed posters. I would have been less entertained. We've also got some other Guns N' Roses news. So there's a big-time YouTuber who I think he maybe has over 1 million subscribers, or at least several hundred thousands worth of subscribers. So he singled out Slash's solo that he played in a newly released YouTube clip that features Slash and Miles Kennedy and the Conspirators performing a cover of Ozzy Osbourne's Crazy Train. Now, Slash's guitar solo got a lot of flack online, and Steve, who's a big Slash fan, basically teased Slash in the video. It's a pretty good video. I've linked to it down below if you guys want to go check it out. Staying with some Slash news, so we've got some information about one of Slash's openers that's going to be playing with him early next year. So Phil Campbell of Motorhead announced on Twitter that he's going to be opening up for Slash in February. So it's not clear exactly which dates he's going to be opening. I think it's pretty clear he'll be opening some of the UK shows that Slash has announced in February. And there may be some other shows that he'll be opening as well. So Campbell served as a guitarist for Motorhead from 1984 to 2015 until frontman Lemmy Kilmister passed away. So if you guys want to hear Phil Campbell and the Bastard Sons music, I've put a link down below. So that does it for today's news, guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you guys have a good one. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section below. And what did you guys make of what happened in Abu Dhabi yesterday when Guns N' Roses performed? I mean, I got to give the band credit. I know a lot of people on social media were blasting them. I can understand if you're a fan and you paid, $300 or however much the ticket was. Yeah, it kind of sucks to get 17 songs. But, the Skin and Bones tour, they're playing about 17, 18 songs a show. And those were like an hour and a half long, those shows back in the day. And I didn't really remember anybody complaining about that. Some of the people who went to the Skin and Bones shows said it was the best, that was the best part of the entire tour, and they still only got 18 songs. So thanks for watching, guys. Have a good one, and hope you guys have a great start to the week. Take care.